So today's lesson is lesson 7-5, and this is use division equations to solve problems. Now, on the iExcel, first thing I want you to do in your warm-up is take about 5 minutes and do the iExcel that is listed below. Press pause on the video and then do that, and then come back to the video. So you found that in problems like these, in order to find that missing value, we would multiply 7 times 9 to get 63. So we were multiplying to solve a division equation, okay? So again, in these, you don't have to write the example 1a down with the diagrams. You can just pay attention. So here we have a bar diagram that represents x divided by 9 equals 13. So the way we're going to use this whole bar, okay, this whole bar, we want to split that into 9 equal parts. And when we split that into 9 equal parts, each of those parts is going to be equal to 13. So, step 2 is to split up the bar into 9 equal sections. Okay, that represents the divided by 9. Okay, now we want to know how much the whole thing is. We want to know what x is equal to. So if after we divide the whole thing by 9, each one of those is equal to 13, then we can add 13 plus 13 plus 13 plus 13 plus 13 all the way to the end. Of course, repeated addition is equal to multiplication. So here, what we can do is we can do 13 times 9 to get what x is equal to. So x is equal to 117, because we multiplied times 9, 13 times 9, okay? On the number line, we use the number line to count by 13 9 times, and then that will bring us to the whole thing. So the equation represents the question, what number is 9 groups of 13? So we're going to count 13 by 13 9 times, and that is also going to give us our 117. So these examples are the ones that I do want you to write down. So we are going to, example 1b is to solve division equation by using the multiplication property of equality. Now remember, the properties of equality say that if you do one operation on one side of the equal sign, you have to do the same operation on the other side to keep the balance. Okay? Now, we know that this is a division problem. The inverse of division is multiplication. So, when we use our cover-up method, here we're going to cover up the x, tells us that we want to get rid of the 9. Okay, we want to get that 9 out of there. So that means, because this is a division problem, we're going to multiply times 9. Now, this is how we're going to show our multiplication. We're going to multiply times 9. If you feel comfortable, if you need to, you can just put that over 1. So here you can see those 9s simplify to 1s. Now, what we just did there, we multiplied times 9 on the left-hand side of the seesaw. So, if I multiply by 9 on one side, that means I have to multiply times 9 on the other side. So now, all of this stuff here is equal to 1 times x, which is equal to x. And then, of course, 13 times 9, just like with our diagrams, is equal to 117. So here we've got 5 is equal to x divided by negative 25. And again, we are going to cover up what we're solving for. So that means we want to get rid of that negative 25, okay? This is a division equation, so that means we're going to do the inverse operation, which is multiplication. And we're going to multiply by the number that we want to get rid of. So we're going to multiply times negative 25. And if I multiply by negative 25 on one side, I have to multiply times negative 25 on the other side. So I'm going to use parentheses here. So we're going to multiply by negative 25 on the other side. So you can see this 25 is on the top of my fraction, and those simplify to 1. Okay? So all of this is equal to 1 times x, so that's equal to x. And then we have negative 25 times 5. Negative times a positive is a negative, and of course 25 times 5 is 125. So here, our final answer is negative 125. So press pause on the video and then do this last example on your own, and then press play to check your work. So we have t divided by 7 is equal to 8. The inverse of division is multiplication. If I cover up t, that tells me that I want to get rid of the 7. So we're going to multiply times 7 on one side, and if I multiply 7 on one side, I have to multiply times 7 on the other side to keep the balance. So now you can see that this 7 and the 7 simplify to 1s. So all of this is equal to 1 times t, which is t. And that is equal to 8 times 7, which is 56. Did you get it? Awesome. So now we're going to write and solve some equations. And again, I want you to remember that step one is to define your unknown. What is it that you do not know? Step 2 is to identify the important information. And then finally, step 3 is to translate the English to math and solve. So for example 2a, we want to write and solve a division equation. So it says Cyrus, Brian, and Michael are sharing a pack of stickers. Each student gets 9 stickers. Write and solve a division equation to determine the total number of stickers in the pack. So again, step 1 is to define what we don't know. So here we don't know the total number of stickers in the pack. Okay? We know that each student gets 9 stickers, and we also know that there are 1, 2, 3 friends. Okay? So let's use stickers. So let's use S for stickers, and let's do a cursive S. Okay, so there's my S equals number of total stickers. All right. Now, each of the students gets 9. Each of the students gets 9, and there are 3 of them. So, if we take all of the stickers, and share it with the 3 friends, then each of the friends will get 9. So let's see. We've got the total number of stickers, That's what we don't know. That's our S for stickers. And we're going to split them up, split this whole thing up with 3 friends. And then once we split those up, then each student or each friend gets 9 stickers. So now we can use our inverse operations to solve. So here, I'm going to cover up the S. You could use a different variable for stickers. So that means we want to get rid of the 3. So because this is division, to get rid of that 3, we need to multiply. So we're going to multiply times 3, and if you want to, you can put it over 1. You can leave it like this, times 3, if you'd like also. Okay? So you multiply times 3 on one side. In order to keep the balance, you have to multiply times 3 on the other side. So here, the 3 here and the 3 down in the denominator, those simplify to 1s. So 1 times S is S. And 9 times 3 is 27. So we had 27 total stickers. Make sure you label because this is a word problem. Okay? All right, example 2b. We want to write and solve a division equation. So why don't you pause the video and try this one on your own and then come back to check it. All right, Sophia spent $2 per guest on her party favors for the birthday party. There are 8 guests coming to the party. We want to write and solve a division equation to find the total amount of money Sophia spent on the party favors. All right, so let's use F for party favors. Let's use M instead. M for the amount of money spent on party favors. Okay. Now, that's the total amount. That's the total amount of money spent on party favors. Okay? Now, we know that there are 8 guests coming to the party. Okay? So this is the total amount spent on the guests. If I split that total amount with each of those 8 guests, then each of them get the $2 amount on their party favors. So here, the equation that we're going to write is the total amount divided by how many guests we have, and that's going to be equal to the $2 that she spent on each of the guests. Oh, you guys, I forgot to identify. So I forgot to highlight stuff. So here, M was the information that we did not know. So that's the total amount of money spent on party favors. We also knew that she spent $2 per guest on the party favors. And then finally, sorry about that, you guys, there are 8 guests coming to the party. Okay? And then that's how we got our equation. Now, we're going to use our cover-up. So we're going to cover up the M, which means we want to get rid of the 8. In order to get rid of the 8, because this is a division equation, we want to multiply times 8. So we're going to multiply times 8 on both sides. So over here, the 8 and the 8, those simplify to 1, so that's 1 times M, which is equal to M. And then over here we have 2 times 8, which is equal to 16. So the total amount of money that she had to spend on her party guests was $16. Now, when you see that we're multiplying on both sides to keep the balance, when we multiply on each side of the equal sign to keep the balance, that is called the multiplication property of equality. Okay? And when you are showing your work, you need to make sure you're showing each of the properties. All right, so for example 3, now this is no diagrams, no word problems, this is just straight problems. So these are all division equations. You need to make sure you're keeping an eye on your sides. So here for letter A, we've got x divided by 15 equals 5. So when I use my cover-up, I'm covering up the x. That means I want to get rid of that 15. In order to get rid of that 15, we're going to multiply times 15 on both sides. So here, that 15 and that 15 simplify to 1. So we have 1 times x is equal to x. And then we've got 5 times 15, which is equal to 75. Very good. Why don't you press pause for B and C? Actually, press pause for B, and then do that on your own, and then press pause again for C. So let's press pause. All right, so here we have 9 is equal to x divided by negative 17. Now, again, we're going to cover up the x. We want to get rid of the negative 17. So here, we're going to multiply times negative 17 on both sides. So we're going to multiply times negative 17 here, and we're going to multiply times negative 17 there. Okay? I hope that doesn't confuse you there. So here, we've got a negative 17 and negative 17. Those both simplify to 1. So we're left with x on that side. And then we have negative 17 times a positive 9. So a negative times a positive is going to be a negative. So we've got 17 times 9, and that's equal to 153. So this is going to be a negative 153. So go ahead and press pause, and then we'll do letter C. So letter C says k divided by negative 4 is equal to 44. So again, we're going to use our cover-up to cover up k. That means we want to get rid of the negative 4. So we're going to, because this is a division problem again, we're going to multiply times negative 4 on this side, and we'll multiply times negative 4 on the other side. We've got to do it on both sides to keep the balance. So here, those negative 4's cancel to 1's. So, or simplify to 1's. So we end up with 1 times k, which is k. And then we have a positive times a negative. That's going to give us a negative. And then we have 44 times 4, which is equal to 176. And you're all done. So, now you have enough information to go ahead and practice with your homework. So tonight's homework is page 391, and you're doing 1 through 12 all. Please make sure you are showing all of your work. You are also going to enter your answers on McGraw-Hill. Okay?